Hey, what's going on guys? Today in this tutorial I'm gonna share with you the 27 hidden feature of Elementor. You know, Elementor have 1,000 of feature, but in today's tutorial I only pick up the best 27 hidden feature that is really very useful, but you don't even know about them. Maybe you have used other third-party plugins and you don't know the feature is already have inside Elementor. So without further ado, let's see the best hidden feature of Elementor. Okay, here first of all I want to say that here some of the feature you get in Elementor free and some of them are available in Elementor Pro. So if you didn't already have Elementor Pro, you can quickly get this on my link on the description. So here's the feature number 1 is inner section inside inner section. So here you can see we have taken an 2-column layout, and inside this first column if we take an inner section here, okay, that works properly, but inside this inner section if we try to add another inner section, you can see it doesn't work. So inside an inner section we normally cannot take an inner section, but if we copy the parent column of this inner section, this is the parent column, let's copy this from here, and if we paste this inside any of the column of our inner section, okay, we can now able to take an inner section inside an inner section. Okay, here let's delete this extra column, and here you can do that in multiple level. So following the same process, if we copy this parent column of this inner section from here and paste this inside here, now this is an inner section inside an inner section inside an inner section. That's really crazy. So normally 90% of time you don't need to take an inner section inside an inner section, but if you want to create more complex layout like this one or this, then you can use this feature. Okay, then let's talk about the Navigator. So if we click on anywhere inside our Elementor page, inside this menu we can see an option Navigator. So if you click on here we can get a Navigator bar. So from here we can see a hierarchical view of our pages. So in this hierarchical view we can see each of this section, and inside this section we can see all of the columns, all of the content. This is really very helpful in case of this kind of cases. So here basically we have created 2 headings, one for our mobile devices and another for our desktop and tablet, and both of these are positioned at the top of our page, and you can see these 2 are overlapping on each other, and from here we cannot edit our content properly. So in that case we can get the help of Navigator. So from here if we click on these any of the widgets from the left panel, now we can see the editing option for this content or the section. And from this preview, if we completely want to hide any item, we can also do that by clicking on this eye icon here. Okay. Then the next feature is scroll to section. So here if we go to this edit button, from here on the link option you can see by default it's hash, but after this hash if we type something like text, and if we copy this text excluding this hash, and if we paste this text inside any of this section, so if we click on this section and go to the advanced settings, and if we paste this in this ID field here, so now if we click on this button here, we can see we have scrolled to the exact section where we paste the exact name of this ID. So you can do that not only with section, but if we want to paste that ID with any of our widget, if we cut this from here and if we paste this for like this widget, you can see this also works for this widget. And inside your page, if you have a contact form at the bottom of your page, and if you want to link a button with this section, you can also utilize this functionality on your website. Okay, then our next feature is the inline width. So here you can see these 2 buttons, and for these buttons if we go to the settings and go to the advanced, and from here go to the positioning, here you can see the option for the width. From here let's choose the option to inline, and if we also do the same for our second button, Okay, now you can see we are able to place these two buttons one after another horizontally. So here we need some gap. For this, if we go to the first button settings and if we add some right margin like 20 pixel, that looks great. And here if you want to make these two buttons to place on the center here, you can also do that by going to the column settings here and make the horizontal align to center. Okay. Then go to our next tip. So when you are using Elementor and if we press Ctrl and E, then you can see a search bar like that, and from here you can search anything from your WordPress. Like if you want to go to edit any of your page, like I want to search for my home page. Here you can see from the result, if I click on the home page, it will directly send me to the edit with Elementor panel. So you don't need to first go to dashboard, then pages, then edit with Elementor. That really makes your workflow more faster. Okay, and from here, so if we type add, here you can see there is also some option for adding new page, post or template. Or if you want to go to any specific portion of the dashboard like the plugins, you can also go that from here. And this finder option will work both from the front end and also from the dashboard when you logged into your WordPress. Then our next feature is hitting the like and subscribe button. I'm just kidding, but if you really enjoy this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel because that really helps me to make more helpful content like this. So let's go to our next feature. If we go to any of our widget, like here the image carousel widget, and right click on that, so here we can find an option save as global. So if we click on this, here we can save this widget as a global widget. So let's name this global widget and save this. Now you can see this widget has become a global widget, which is the logo carousel 1. And now if we go to another of our page, and here if we want to add this global widget, we need to go to this global section, and here we can also find this widget from this page. So let's drag this to here, and our global widget here is also added. So in your website, if you want to add the same widget on the multiple places on your website, in that case the global widget is very helpful, because here if you want to edit this widget from here, like here I want to set the slideshow to 5. Okay, now here it's updated in this place, and as this is a global widget, this widget will be automatically updated in this place here. So when we modify this, we don't need to change this on each of the places where we have used this. Maintenance mode. So if you go to Elementors and then go to tools, and under here go to the maintenance mode, here you can see some option for setting the coming soon or the maintenance page for your website. So if you just launch your website and if you don't ready your content yet, in that case you can enable the coming soon mode on your website, or here there is also a maintenance mode. So if your website is on maintenance, you can also enable this mode. So right now let's enable this coming soon mode from here, and then from here you can also select the template for your coming soon page. So I have already created one template coming soon, and let's save this. Now from this edit template option, you can customize the template of your coming soon page. So if you click on here you can see our coming soon page template, and inside this template I don't want to show the header and footer. So if we go to the template settings and go to the page layout, if we make this to canvas, for now the header and footer has gone. Now let's update this. And now if we go to any of our pages, like if we go to our home page, everything looks fine, or go to about page, here also everything is okay. But if we logged out from WordPress, so log out from here and try to go to our home page, here you can see instead of our normal home page, we can see a custom coming soon page. And here if we try to go to our about page, about, it also redirects us to this coming soon page. So basically for the normal visitors, when they try to come to your website, they can see a coming soon page like this, and you can normally do your work from your dashboard. And here, after enabling the maintenance mode, you can see on the red background maintenance mode on. This is also very helpful because if you by mistake turn on this maintenance mode, or if you forget to turn off this coming soon mode, your visitor cannot visit your website. So that's why it always reminds you that the maintenance mode is on your website. If we try to create a dark background website, that is really very painful, because for each of the section, you need to go to the section settings and set the background color from there. But here you don't necessarily need to do that, because if you go to the page settings, from here if you go to the style, so from here if you want to modify the background color, you can do that just by one click. Okay. Or here if you want to add a new section, you can also create that with this by default dark background. If we go to templates or the pop-up or the theme builder, here for each of the template on the right side, you can see a shortcode is provided for each of the templates. Here if we go to this free ebook section, here we have created this section with Elementor. So now if we want to use this section anywhere inside our website, we can easily do that by using this shortcode. So we need to just copy this shortcode from here, and if we want to include this section inside our post, we need to simply paste that here. And if we update our post, okay, you can see our template has been added inside our post. And not only inside post, you can also add your section inside any of your pages or anywhere by using this shortcode feature. Our next feature is the link option. So if you go to any of the link option, like here from the button, we can go to the link option to here. And if we click on the settings icon right here, we can see we have some additional option for this link. Like if you want to add this link in a new tab, you can check this. So this option is really very helpful, because if you add an external link and you don't want to leave your user from your website, in that case you can turn on this open in a new tab option. And here is also option for no follow. So for SEO purposes, sometimes you need to add this no follow with the link. And here is also some option for custom attributes. If you want to add additional custom HTML attributes with your links, you can also do that from here. Dynamic tag is a great feature for creating dynamic content inside your page. So here I have inside a singular post template for the single post page. And here you can see I have used an heading widget here, and here I have used an text hello world. So here if we remove this static text, and instead of this text, I want to use this dynamic tag option. So if we click on here, we can see here are a lot of options for creating dynamic content inside this heading. So from here, if we choose it to post title, so now we can see the post title. This post title is basically comes from the title of this post right here. And here we can see this dynamic tag option not only for the title, but if we go to any link option, we can see it here. We can also find it for any of the background or any of the image option. So here for this image, if we go to this dynamic tag, and here instead of this fixed image, I also want to use a dynamic image. So here if we go to the post, under here you can see I have also added an extra field for the post, which is image 2. I have done this using the advanced custom field plugin. So if we go to our single post template and go to this images dynamic tag, here under ACF, let's select this option and go to these settings, and under key, if we select it to the image 2, which the field I have already created. Okay, now we can see the dynamic additional image instead of that static image. And if you don't want to set any additional image for the post from here, You can also set an fallback image for that. So by combining the dynamic tag option and also the advanced custom field, you can create this kind of cool dynamic things. We can easily create the dual color heading from the existing option of Elementor. Some of you may have used some additional plugin for that, but you don't need to do that. So here if we go to these heading settings, here we can see this text. So here for this portion of the text, I want to make it a different color. So to do this, first of all, we need to wrap this inside an span HTML tag. So let's start the span tag here. And we need to close that span icon with this slash, and inside this opening tag we need to write down an space and then style equal to color, then a colon, and then we can set the color for this portion of the text. If we set it to red, we can see the color has been changed to red. Or if we want to use any other color, so if we go to style, and here from the color picker, if we choose any other color like this blue color, we need to copy that color code from here. And here let's reduce this original color to white. And if we paste it in that place instead of the red, okay, now we are able to paste this blue color only for this portion. That's really cool. Okay, the next feature is the color sampler. You can use the color sampler option to pick up any color from your website. Like here for this heading color, I want to choose a color from this image. So let's go to the color option, and at the corner you can see an option color sampler. So let's click on this. And now if we click on anywhere on your website, if I click on this image, here this color picker automatically picks some colors from this image. So if I choose a color from here, this color is also added for this heading. Then go to our next feature, which is the dark mode. So here on the Elementor panel, if we go to on the top left corner and go to user preferences, from here you can change the UI theme for the Elementor editor. So if you set it to dark, it will become dark. And here is also the option for auto detect. So this auto detect option will automatically detect the theme from your operating system. So if you have a dark theme on your Windows, this will automatically detect from your computer and apply this on this UI theme. Okay, so right now if we make it to dark, now on this editing panel here we can see everything in dark mode, all the elements here in the dark mode. Or even if we refresh our page, here this loading screen we can also see in this dark mode. I'm also a dark mode lover because that gives my eye comfort, and if you are using it from the laptop, that also gives you a long battery time. Here you can see we have created a section. On the left column we have take some text, and on the right column here is an image. So right now if we go to the responsive mode and go to tablet, here everything looks okay. But if we place this image above this text, that really makes very good sense in this layout. So for this we have an option which is reverse column. So if you go to the section settings and go to advanced and go to responsive and turn on this reverse column option, we can see our second column goes to first and our first column goes at the bottom. And on the mobile we can also turn on this option. So from here if we turn on this is also applied for our mobile. If we press Ctrl and question sign, then we can see a list of some keyboard shortcut. Like here we can see the shortcut for undoing is Ctrl and Z, for redoing it's Ctrl Shift Z, or for enabling the responsive mode we can also press Ctrl Shift and M. I know remembering these shortcuts is really a headache, but once you are comfortable with this shortcut, you can speed up your workflow really fast. Our next feature is the additional breakpoint. It's recently added inside Elementor. So if we go to the responsive mode, normally here we can see only three options: the desktop, the tablet and the mobile. But if we want to add some more additional breakpoint, we need to click on this settings icon. and here you can see the mobile and tablet is already added. And if we click on here, we can see some more extra devices like mobile extra, or if we want to add wide screen, here also the wide screen device is added. And here you can see for the mobile device, the range is between from 0 to 767 pixel. For mobile extra, it's 768 to 880 pixel. And for tablet, it's 881 to 224 and so on. So if you want, you can also customize the breakpoint value from here. Like if you want to make it to 600, you can also do that. But I'd like to make it to default. So let's keep it default, and if we click on update and also click on reload now. Okay, now if we go to again to responsive mode, now we can see our additional devices has also been added to this bar. So if you want to see it from the mobile extra, we can preview this, or the wide screen. Okay, we can also do that. Here you can see an form, and inside this form, if we go to each of these fields and go to the advanced, we can see a shortcode for each of our field. Like for the name, we can see this is our shortcode. For this one, this is our shortcode. So by using this shortcode, we can do some really cool stuff. Here we have also made an thank you page, and after submitting this form, I want to redirect my user to that thank you page. And inside this thank you page, I want to show that value which the user have been submitted from here. So I will do that by using this shortcode feature. So if you go to the action after submit, here now collect submit and email is activated. Now I want to also add it to redirect and go to this redirect option. And here I want to paste the link of my thank you page. And after the link, I want to type a question mark. Then let's write username equal to, then we need to copy the shortcode from the form field. So I want to pass the value of the name field. So go to advanced and copy the shortcode from here and paste that after this equal sign. And then I also want to pass the value of the email field to our thank you page. So let's also add an and sign, and then let's write email address is equal to, then also the shortcode from this email field. Okay, now we need to save this, and here this is our thank you page. And inside this thank you page, here I want to show up the user's name, and here I want to show the email address of the user. So for this, let's go to this paragraph and go to these dynamic tags, and let's choose the request parameter and click on this settings icon. And for the parameter name, I want to copy it from here, the username. And before the username, I want to set it to thank you. So here it says thank you, the username, and then it says contacting with us. So the full word will be the thank you, then the username, then the after contacting with us. And for the second paragraph, I will do the same thing. Okay, here for the second paragraph, we have used the parameter name exactly email address, which we have also used right here, the email address. And before that, we have also add some text. And after that, we have used this full stop. We can also use a fallback text if we didn't get any value from this form field. Okay, now let's save this and test this on the preview. So if we fill up this form, this confirmation message has been shown and it's redirected to our thank you page. And inside this thank you page, here we can see the name we have just submitted from this form, and here we can see the email address for the user. Here this is very useful if you want to make your thank you page more personalized for your user. The next feature is the replacing URL feature. So we need to go to Elementor and under that go to tools and need to click on the replace URL. So sometimes when you migrate your website from a URL to a new URL, in that case something may not be working properly on your new site. Like for some buttons, you still have the URL of your old website. So in this case, you need to replace your website's old URL with the new URL. But before doing that, we need to make sure to take a backup for your database. And we also need to do another thing. If we go to General, after doing that, here we also need to regenerate our CSS. Because in some of our CSS file, we still have the URL of our old website. So when we click on Regenerate Files and Data, this will also replace this with our new URL. So after that, let's go to our next feature. So if you click on the left top corner and go to the site settings, then click on the background. Here we can see an option, mobile browser background. So from here, if we select and color like this, okay, here you can see nothing has been changed. But for the mobile browser, instead of this default top bar, you can see the background has been changed with this custom color. So if you want to change the background color for this bar to match with your brand color, you can set that from here. But here this option is not supported by all of the browser and the devices, so I cannot guarantee you that it will work for all of your users. Okay, then next go to the next feature. Okay, here we have discussed about some advanced option of pop-up. So if you're a marketer, this pop-up feature is really helpful for you because you can create different type of pop-ups like a sales or promotion or a lead capture pop-up from this Elementor's pop-up option. So here's I have made two pop-ups. If we go to this one, okay, here you can see I have already created a pop-up, and from here this saving option, if we go to display conditions, from here you can set the display condition for this pop-up. So if you want to show it on a specific page, you can also do that from here. And from this trigger option, you can set various triggering options, like if you want to trigger this pop-up on the page load, you can do that. You can also set the delay in seconds from here, or if you want to enable this on user scroll, you can do that from here. You can set up the direction from here, or you can show the pop-up on click on your page, or there are a lot more options, like when user try to exit your page, you can also show this pop-up. And after that, from the advanced rule option, you can also set some advanced option for your pop-up, like here it says shows after X page views. So if you want to show this pop-up after your visitors comes to your page like 3 times, you can also do that from here. Or when they arrive this page from a specific URL, then only you can show this pop-up. For example, if you want to show this pop-up when user only comes from Facebook, you can do that from here. Or here is more another option like showing on devices. So you can enable or disable this pop-up for various devices and from different browser from here. So here I don't want to do anything with that, so let's close this. Instead, here on this page, for this button, when I click on this, I want to show this pop-up. So we can also do that easily from the buttons link option. So if we go to the link dynamic tag option and choose the action to pop up, and from here on the settings icon, if we select our pop-up, here we name that pop-up pop-up 2. Okay, this one. So if we save this and go to preview, okay, now if we click on this button, we can also get this pop-up. Sometimes after updating Elementor, you have caused some problem on your website. So in that case, what you can do, you need to go to Elementor, then tools, and go to version control. And from here you can roll back to your previous version of Elementor. And you can do that both for Elementor Free and also for Elementor Pro. So from here on this drop down, we can see some previous version of Elementor. So if we want to roll back to an older version, we need to select that and click on this reinstall button and click on continue. And then our Elementor has successfully rolled back to that previous version. Here under Elementor tools, if we go to the export import kit option, From here we can export or import the whole Elementor template kits in one click. So from this export option, if we click on here we can see by clicking on this export button, we are able to export all the saved templates, header, footers, all the singular post templates and all other templates from here, and also the content like the Elementor page, the landing page, WP page, everything, and here even the site settings like the global settings of the global colors, global fonts, or the lightbox or the background settings. We can do all and everything from here. And here if we don't want to export any specific part, we can also deselect these from here. And after setting all of this, we need to click on this export button. And all of our content has been exported within this one zip file. That's really cool. And after exporting, if we want to import this zip file to our another website, we can also use this import template kit option. Our next feature is the HTML tag feature. So here if we click on any of our heading widget, on the left panel you can see an option HTML tag. So probably you can see this option but you don't know when to use this HTML tag. So from here if we select it to H1, here nothing has been changed, and here for this one if we select this to H1 or H2, we cannot see any differences for our design. But here for the search engine optimization or SEO, we need to keep in mind about this HTML tag. Like here you can see we have used the HTML tag to H1. So according to Google SEO, we should not have more than one HTML tag in our page. So that's why only for this heading we use the H1 tag. And here if we look at this, here for this heading we have used the H3, and also for this one we have H2. And here this HTML tag is not only for the headings. If we go to any of the section, here we can also see this HTML tag. Okay, here I would like to keep it to default, but for our header section we can select the HTML tag to header, and also for footer we can also select this footer tag. Here if we try to use any of the content for our product, here we can see we have the normal WordPress editor. We can only see the Elementor editor for our post and pages. For the other custom post type, like if you create another custom post type like recipe or portfolio, we cannot see our Elementor editor there. And also for the product, here we cannot see that. So to enable Elementor editor in this place, we need to go to the Elementor settings, and here you can see an option custom types. So from here if we also check this for product and click on save changes, and here also refresh this, now the edit with Elementor button is also available for our products. So from here for our product we can now create more complex layout with Elementor editor. Okay, the next feature is the background slideshow. So normally for this section you can see we have used a single image background. So go to the section settings, and if we go to the style, and we can see that image here. But here for this background type we can see for option, if we go to the last option slideshow, from here we can set multiple images for our background slideshow. So let's click on this plus icon, and from here let's choose a couple of images, and now you can see instead of a single image, a slideshow is running on this background. And from here we can also control the duration for this slideshow, and also change the transition for this slideshow, like it is set to fade. If we want a different transition we can do that from here. Okay, that's really cool. We have reached out to our last feature, which is the Honeypot and the hidden feature. So for any form, if we go to the form settings, and from here click on add item and choose the type of this field to Honeypot, here you can see nothing has been changed, but this Honeypot field is really very useful. because if someone tried to run an automated bot, the Honeypot field will block them and protect your form from this kind of spam. So this will give your form extra security. Basically this is an hidden field, so user also don't have to do anything with that. So that's it about the Honeypot field. And then we also have another field, the hidden field. So if we choose the hidden field, here also nothing happens, but we can do some interesting stuff with this hidden field. Here by using this hidden field, we can detect the user source. So we can know that where the user comes from this page and fill up this form. So for doing this, we need to go to this advanced tab of this hidden field. And here in this default value field, we need to click on this dynamic tag option and choose the request parameter and click on the settings icon. And here I want to name the parameter to source. And also here let's give a ID for this field. You can keep this to default, but I would like to change this to from. Let's save this. So now let's test this from different sources. Okay, now on Facebook, I have shared the link of the page, the contact page, contact us, this page's URL from here. And then we have written the question mark source equal to Facebook. So the source have to be identical with the name of the source right here. And then we give the name Facebook as we share it from Facebook. So we have given its name to Facebook. So if we click on this link here and fill up this form. Okay, our form has successfully received. So now if we go to our dashboard and go to submissions, here you can see we have received our form information. So let's click on this. And under here, we can see the source is Facebook. So that means user first comes to this page throughout Facebook and then fill up this form. And when you share this link on another social media like YouTube, here instead of Facebook, you can write YouTube. Or if you share this link throughout your blog post, like this blog, here I have also shared this link. Here after the page link as a source, you can see I have pasted the URL of this page. So if we go to this contact page throughout this page and then fill up this form, then on the form field, we can see the URL of that specific blog post. Cool, right? Alright, so that's all the 27 features in Elementor which I have found after a lot of research. I know it has become a really long tutorial, and if you are still watching here, I wanna congratulate you because today you have learned a lot of new things. So thanks for today. I'll see you very soon.